Welcome to today's deep dive. I'm your host, and today have you ever walked into a meeting room ready to pitch to a client, and then you spend the first 10 minutes just sweating trying to get the screen to work?
Oh, yeah. I'm your expert today, and I know that universal struggle all too well. It's always a hunt for the remote or finding a cable that doesn't actually go anywhere.
Exactly. So today we are looking at some source material from HDTV Supply product page. Specifically, it's the Kramer SWT3-21-H. And on the surface, it's billed as a 2x1 HDMI switcher, but that feels like a massive undersell.
It is a massive undersell. If you just look at it as a switcher, you completely miss the point. Our mission for this deep dive is to unpack how this little metal box actually acts as the brain of a modern meeting room.
Yeah.
It's about moving from that cable fumbling to a true plug-and-play event.
Okay, let's test that brain claim. Because as a designer, usually when I plug my laptop into these little switchers, the video quality just degrades. Am I going to lose detail on my slides here?
Not with this one, no.
Yeah.
It handles full 4K resolution at 60 Hz with 4.4.4 color sampling.
Unpack that for me a bit. I see 4.4.4 on spec sheets all the time, but why should you or I actually care?
Well, you know when you plug a laptop into a TV and the fine text on your spreadsheet looks all blurry or has that weird colored fringing around the letters?
Oh, I hate that. It makes small text impossible to read.
Yeah, that is usually a color sampling issue. So 4.4.4 ensures that fine text and lines remain razor sharp. Your design mock-ups will look exactly the way they do on your studio monitor, but honestly, the visual fidelity is just the baseline here. The real magic is the automation.
You're talking about the auto switcher logic they mentioned in the specs.
Right, but it is much smarter than just detecting when a plug goes in. It uses active video signal detection. So it actually knows the difference between a cable that's just dangling off a table and one that's actively pushing pixels.
Okay, that is genuinely smart. But my biggest pet peeve is still the remote control. Where is it? Does it have batteries?
And that right there is where this device completely changes the workflow. It uses CEC or serial control to automate the display itself. So you plug in your laptop, the port wakes up, and it automatically tells the TV to turn on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then you unplug, and after a set delay, it just shuts the room down.
I love that. No more standing on a chair trying to find the physical power button on the back of the monitor.
Exactly. It removes the friction and creates that professional environment where the technology just feels inevitable.
Okay, so the room wakes up automatically, your spreadsheet looks crisp. But usually, this is the exact moment the experience falls apart because you are relying on those cheap, teeny TV speakers for your sound.
That is the classic bottleneck. You've got this highly professional presentation coming out of speakers the size of a hearing aid. But this device fixes that with a feature called audio de-embedding.
Audio de-embedding. That sounds like a surgical procedure.
It's much less painful, I promise. Basically, the HDMI cable carries both your video and your digital audio. This box takes that digital audio, extracts it, and then converts it into a balanced stereo analog signal.
So instead of playing through the TV, the sound goes where exactly?
Anywhere you need it to. Usually that means routing it to a professional sound system, like a DSP or proper room amplifiers. So while the pristine image goes to the screen, the audio actually fills the room properly.
That is a huge upgrade for anyone presenting video.
Now, looking further down the feature sheet, there's something about a control gateway. Is that just IT jargon?
It sounds like it, but it's actually a huge deal for the IT teams managing these buildings. Usually adding a new switcher to a corporate network is a security nightmare.
Right, because nobody wants to introduce a weak link into the firewall.
Exactly. But this unit supports 802.1x authentication. So it acts like a secure, authenticated device right out of the box, which makes the IT department's life significantly easier. Plus, it allows control over RS-232 without needing a separate, expensive external processor, which means it saves space too. And speaking of space, the specs say this is a DemiTools form factor. It looks tiny in the pictures.
It is incredibly small. It's a fanless aluminum enclosure. And it operates entirely via PoE, which stands for Power over Ethernet.
Wait, so it draws its electricity right through the internet cable?
Precisely. There is no bulky power brick cluttering up the floor. You can just screw it under a table or tuck it directly behind a screen, and it vanishes.
So to wrap this up for you listening, this isn't just a switch. It really is a compact automation system handling video, audio extraction, and room control all in one box.
And it does all that at a price point that makes a lot of sense. The HDTV Supply page lists it at $456, which is discounted from the MSRP. But the real kicker is the warranty. It comes with a 7-year factory warranty.
7 years, that's an absolute eternity in tech years.
It really is. If you're an IT manager budgeting for a room refresh, getting a 7-year warranty on a sub-$500 box changes the math completely. You aren't replacing this thing in 2 years. It lowers the total cost of ownership significantly.
It definitely makes the investment feel a lot safer.
It does. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, it raises an interesting question. As these hardware boxes get smarter, smaller, and more integrated, at what point does the room itself become fully autonomous?
Meaning what exactly?
Yeah.
Like it anticipates what we need.
Yeah, meaning we are getting very close to a world where the room knows exactly what we want to do before we even plug in a single cable.
A room that knows what you want before you do. I will take that over hunting for a remote any day of the week.
Something for all of you to think about next time you walk into a meeting. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.